Hello, friends. Bishop Andy C. Luter here, publisher of the Manna Community Newspaper. I'm here today with Pastor Vernon Shelton. I should more appropriately say Dr. Vernon Shelton of the Holy Trinity Baptist Church here in Amityville. Welcome, Pastor. Thank you for being with us today.
It's an honor to be here with you today.
Doctor, the last time that you were here, we had a rather extensive conversation about your being a new arrival here in the Amityville, North Amityville community. What observations and things have you observed and learned since your arrival and that conversation that we had?
Being here, I've learned that Amityville is a small, for everybody's family. Everyone knows each other. There's history here. And when you're from Amityville, there's such a great love for the community and love for each other. So I've learned to embrace the church community, the community at large, but definitely everybody knows everybody in Amityville.
Yes. Doctor, you recently was awarded or elected to the position of President of the Congress of Christian Education. And ironically, that is a position that one of your predecessors, Dr. Spurgeon Creighton, held almost 40 years ago. And when one looks at his path, his rise, his popularity, they see an uncanny similarity between where you are, where you're going, those things that you're doing now. It appears as though you're either standing on his shoulders or following in his footsteps. What is your reaction to that?
Since I've been here, I've heard many great things about Dr. Spurgeon Creighton, the foundation he laid at Holy Trinity in this Amityville community, but also in our Eastern Baptist Association and in our state convention. And many of the paths which I've taken, I didn't realize it in the beginning, but it appears that I'm somewhat following in the footsteps of a great legend, shoes that are too big for me to fill, but I appreciate the compliments, the accolades. Many times people tell me that you are following the steps of a great man, Spurgeon Creighton. So it seems that our paths have been similar. He's laid out a great foundation. I just pray that I can live up to half of what he's done, but I appreciate and I've embraced being able to follow the footsteps of what I would call a legend in the gospel ministry.
One of the other areas that you've become active in recently, Pastor, is your work with the Manna organization. You're doing some writing for us. We are receiving rave reviews from your office, and each week we look forward to reading the stories, the articles of those things that are happening at Holy Trinity. What do you anticipate being your future role, and what are some of the other things that you hope to be able to contribute to the Manna organization?
Well, the Manna organization, first let me just say this new initiative, the newspaper, and the vision, it has been a great asset to our community, to our church. Just the information that we're able to share and read, it touches beyond just the church news and community. I hope I can share what's going on in the East End, things that's taking place in our state and even in our national convention. It is an outlet, it's a newspaper that is just taking on a role that will give a voice not only to our local churches but to our community and hopefully to Long Island. So I thank God for Manna, and I pray that I could just be a small part of that information that we deposit into this newspaper, that we can be able to get this information now. I thank God for the opportunity and the vision. So I'm just happy to be a part of the team.
Okay. Our final question, Pastor. You mentioned the state, you mentioned the national work of our Baptist communion. Talk to us about some areas that you're active beyond the local association, but even in our state convention and in our national convention as well.
In our state convention, I serve as the leader of the adult division. That includes all of the ushers, all of the laymen and women. I coordinate, organize our retreat, and I serve for our Congress Christian Education Week, but also in our national convention. This year, I will be serving as a writer for our theme book. One of the writers for the theme book, a great opportunity. This year, the articles will be on growing disciples. So I thank God for the opportunity to be able to work on our national and state level.
And I said it was the last question, that the last question was the last question. But since the last time we've talked, you have acquired an earned doctoral degree. Share with our audience something of that work, something of that degree, and what you had to go through in order to acquire such an item.
Yes, Since we've talked, I've graduated from the United Theological with my doctorate in ministry. My project was on rebuilding churches wounded by clergy misconduct. I had to really come into a church that experienced some form of misconduct. I had to learn how to heal a broken congregation, had to rebuild and build trust. So it was a challenge for me, not knowing what I was getting into in the beginning, but to learn, to embrace. And out of that process, I wrote a book called Picking Up the Pieces that deal with rebuilding churches and restoring relationships, because anyone can be hurt in the church, but we serve a God of restoration. So out of this work, I had to share my personal experiences, but I had to deal with my own pain as a process, and thank God for the healing process of this work.
This has been Bishop Andy C. Luter with the Manna Community Newspaper. For the last several minutes, you have been listening to and watching Dr. Vernon Shelton of the Holy Trinity Baptist Church. We thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you next time. God bless.